injured animals, you know, loose livestock, police calls. Now we're going to probably go out to Enumclaw. There's a cat that was trapped in a humane trap. What's next is a bite case. Yesterday we had a loose goat. Just received a call regarding a horse that's not being cared for. This call has been called in as a cruelty call. 2 dogs that have been abandoned. I think what we'll do is go take a look for those horses that might be loose. We've had cases with packs of wild dogs. Like I said earlier, we do a lot of different things, and one of them is doing rescues. Priority of calls we get, the life or death situations or the very extreme important calls that we need to go on. Not everybody out there knows that that's what we're doing. So when they call us to pick up a dead possum that's next to their driveway and it's been there a few days and they're really angry that we haven't been by to pick it up, they just don't understand that we're dealing with children that have been bitten and cruelty situations that take a lot of investigation and a lot of hours away from us during the day. 226 cases pending, and that ranges anywhere from stray animals that need to be picked up at people's houses to vicious dog complaints and report writing and all kinds of everything in between that is there. Basically what I'm doing now before we get started is I'm going through every page of all our calls to see which ones need to get handled today for sure.
RP is saying that the neighbor's dog was left outside for 6 days.
The miles I drive in a day, it could range anywhere from 100 to 300 miles in a day. We cover a large area and we get a lot of calls in between that. There's not enough of us out there. The people that you deal with, you never know what you're going to get. Like I said earlier, they get very emotional and they're willing to kill for their animal. You just don't know who you're dealing with at any given time on this job. It can get scary. You have to have the ability to talk to people. When you go out on a call, you get the story from the person that called you, and then you have to go get the story of the person who owns the animal that supposedly did the violation. You won't mind if I take it back home to them, probably, huh? And talk to them about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll bring this cage back to you here in a minute, okay? All right, thanks you guys. You have to be able to hear both sides and come up with something in the middle that's going to work for everybody. You're going to sign the cat over to us. It becomes King County property. Okay. And that will take care of this particular case, so you're not getting a warning for animal trespass on private property. It ended up being their cat, and instead of going through the process of a written warning for animal trespass on private property, they elected to sign the animal over to our department so we could adopt it out to maybe somebody that would keep a better eye on it. So it's probably better off for the animal at this point. This dog is now leaving to go back up to our Crossroads shelter. He's been neutered down here at our vet clinic, and he's going back up there to be adopted to the people that committed to adopting him already. Come here. Oh, that's what I'm He's got a lot of boxer in him, just the way he stands and holds himself. Yeah. Nice looking dog though, huh? We get stuff like that in here every day, and people need to know that we get so many animals every day that come in here, and we need them to find homes, and they're good quality animals. They really are. So this is definitely the place to go to get a pet for sure. Enumclaw Police Department's calling now. They want an assist regarding pit bulls. We've worked with every police agency in King County every day, pretty much. We've worked with the IRS, the DEA when there's drugs involved. We go on search warrants with all kinds of different agencies. We work closely with the Department of Fish and Wildlife because of the wildlife that's in the area. We don't normally deal with wildlife, but we do interact with it and we get a lot of questions on it, so we do work together with them. There's Department of Social and Health Services, the Department of Aging. There's a lot of elderly folks out there that need a little assistance. They might have too many animals or can't take care of the ones they have, and so we try to, get them extra food and help. I was involved in a case not all that long ago where there was an elderly lady who lost her companion animal, and it died in her house, and she needed someone to come get it out of there. She had nobody else to help her. So, that was her last friend in the world. And it was really difficult for me. I thought about it if that was my own grandma. And, she was crying, and I'm trying to let her know it's okay that, this happens, and I'm really sorry. And boy, it wasn't too much longer. She was starting to make me cry. I felt awful for her, and treated her animal like it was still alive and showed lots of compassion. And she thanked me later for that. That was really big, really important for her. It's nice to help people out, especially in situations like that. They're really difficult. Anyone that's lost an animal to anything, whether it's old age or getting hit by a car, knows that it's hard.
That's not easy, is it?
No, it isn't.
Okay. All right. Well, I will talk to them about both the dog issue and the horse issue. I'll go take a look at the horse right now.
Years ago, where a horse was dying from being starved to death, by the time I got on the call, the horse was so weak it collapsed right in front of me. I had a vet coming out to assist. By the time the vet got out there, the horse had died, and it died with its head right in my lap as I'm petting it. And he's looking up at me, and all of a sudden he was gone. And that was really hard because it could have been prevented. Very, very preventable. We see stuff like that a lot. And people seem to think that we're this, the evil dog catcher that doesn't care. Well, they're really wrong. Not one of us down there would put up with that. That's why we work this job, so we can help the animals out and go after the people that purposely abuse them.
Right now I'm looking at 226 calls, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and by the end of the day there's a very good chance it'll be 270 calls pending.
Well, as far as people calling us with complaints and whatnot, it would really probably benefit them in the long run to try and talk to their neighbors first about what's going on, and do it nicely. Hello. I just wanted to talk to you more about the situation that happened the other day. I'm Steve with Animal Control. I know people get upset and excited right away if someone's dog did something to them or their property. But if they can just calm down and talk to their neighbor, then things could get worked out usually before we even have to get involved. Well, apparently nobody's home. They left a statement on their door for me to read. And what happens is these calls get coded differently by priority. So if we don't know the whole story and it was more serious, it would have been nice to know that information so we could step it up a notch. Right now they're meeting the criteria by keeping the dog chained up and has shelter. There was food and water, it's just the dog is hyper enough to where it dumped it over. Perhaps the person that called us could have came over and talked to these people and said this continuously happens all day when you're at work. If people are more diligent and being responsible with their pets, if we can get that across on the board for education purposes, that would help. If they're licensed, that's a really nice thing to have. Or if they're microchipped, it makes it a lot easier for us to find their home. If we're nearby, we'll even take it home for them. Rooster. The best part of my job is helping people, period, no matter what the situation is. It's very satisfying. And when you get people that show their appreciation and they're really grateful, they get their animal back, or you helped them with a neighborhood dispute, it is very satisfying. It really is. And you're actually making friends out there, and you slowly get that that's the dog catcher thing out of their mind, and they start thinking that that's an animal control officer, they're professional, they help me out, they're actually really good, there's a reason they're here.